Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It has been a fortnight since the blessed month of Ramadan departed, leaving behind a lingering question. Did it truly change us? We witnessed nights filled with prayer, hearts engaged with the Quran, hands extended in charity, and bodies disciplined through fasting, not just from food, but from sin. For a time, turning away from evil felt easier. The Prophet ﷺ said, when Ramadan begins, the gates of paradise are open, the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are chained. Sahih al Bukhari 1899. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also said, there is none among you except that he has been assigned a companion from the jinn. Sahih Muslim 2814. This companion, the Kharin, whispers, invites, and beautifies sin, yet cannot compel it. Even this influence is restrained in Ramadan. And yet, we witnessed that sin did not disappear during Ramadan. Injustice remained, wickedness persisted. Even as devils were chained, war broke out, killing thousands of innocent people. So, where does all this evil come from? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that Shaitan will say on the day of judgment, I had no authority over you except that I called you and you responded to me. Surah Ibrahim, verse number 22. As Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah explained, Shaitan only calls to what already exists within the soul. This reveals something profound. The root of sin is not the whispers of the Kharin, but what lives within us. The Quran unveils three states of the soul, a journey within every one of us. At its lowest level is Nafs al-Ammara, the commanding soul. Indeed, the soul is ever commanding to evil, except whom my Lord has mercy upon. Surah Yusuf, verse number 53. This is the undisciplined self. It does not resist evil. It readily responds to the invitation of Kharin. Left unchecked, it normalizes sin until the heart no longer feels guilty. Then comes Nafs al-Lawwama, the self-reproaching soul. And I swear by the self-reproaching soul. Surah Al-Qiyamah, verse number 2. This is the awakening self. It slips, but it regrets. There is struggle, but there is sincerity. This is the soul that is aware of its weaknesses and is repentant. And then the highest state of the soul is Nafs al Mutmainna, the peaceful soul. O tranquil soul, return to your Lord, pleased and pleasing. Surah Al Fajr, verses number 27 and 28. This is the settled self. It no longer struggles to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It loves being obedient. Its peace is not in this world, but in nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what Ramadan was meant to do, to take us from a soul that follows evil to a soul that fights against it, and from there to a soul that finds peace in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the question is not whether we have a nafs, but which one are we feeding? The presence of sin in Ramadan is not a contradiction. It is a revelation that much of the struggle lies within us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, He has succeeded who purifies it, and He has failed who corrupts it. Surah Shams, verses number 9 and 10. Ramadan was not just about chaining devils, it was about disciplining the soul. If we improve, it's a sign of life within the heart. This shows that we have conquered Nafs al Ammara. If not, Ramadan did not fail us. It showed us where we still need to strive. And to see that clearly is not failure, it is self awareness. It is awakening. It is the beginning of real change towards goodness and obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. O Allah, give life to our hearts, purify our souls, and grant us the strength to carry forward what Ramadan nurtured within us. Raise us from striving souls to nafs al mutmainna, peaceful, sincere, and accepted. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen.